Are we live? Is this thing on? Is this mic working? Hello, testing. 1, 2, 3. Anybody out there? Gee whiz. All right. I guess, are we recording this?
We're recording this.
And it's live.
And it's live, supposedly.
Oh my goodness. Oh my,
Yep.
Yeah, I've never done a live show before. Hello and welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair. This is Streaming Idiots. You probably already realized that by the very polished intro that we did here. And I am delighted to be in the studios of Nissan Communications at an undisclosed location deep in the mountains of North Carolina, where I am joined by Amnon Nissan, my very gracious host, and the entire entire cast of friends. No, just teasing. The entire cast of Computers 2K Now, which comes on at 9 o'clock Eastern Time every Sunday morning at Computers 2K Now or NissanCommunications.com. And with me is Mike Phillips. Mike's not mic'd, but he's here. The crowd goes wild. And Spence Shoemaker and Nick Craig.
Hey.
Welcome, guys.
What's going on?
Nick just literally just rolled in from...
I came all the way down. I drove 12 hours just to be on the show. It's a true honor, Tom. Thank you so much.
It's getting deep in here. It is getting very deep in here. And Amnon is actually running the show today.
I'm trying anyway.
And Mike and Spence are going to observe and critique.
Learn.
And Mike says that he's trying to remember all those things that he used to know. People always say, "Oh yeah, he knows more. He's forgotten more than you'll ever know," and that never made much sense to me. Are we back? Did we lose?
I mean, you okay, but
I'm okay.
I can't get it in the. Go ahead, keep going.
Okay. All right. So I am delighted to be in this studio. This is an amazing studio. It has got like 50 lights in it of every different shape and size. Amnon is equipped to handle guests of all shape and size. As you see behind me, we've got a backdrop that's real similar to our regular one. Well, I didn't think about it. I'm wearing a blue shirt, but he normally uses blue screen. So we started everything and I disappeared, at least from the neck down. And lo and behold, he's got a green screen on a track hanging from the ceiling, and he just rolled it right in, and boom, there we are, ready to go. So it's great to be here. Amnon, you were my first guest on that VidBlaster guy way back when. That would have been July in 2012.
He's asking me questions now when I'm doing all this. Isn't he something?
Well, it is what it is. But you got a mic, you can talk.
Yeah, I'm
talk and
talking,
direct
but
at
I
the
need
same
to
time.
get the multi one to go, and somehow things just change.
Have you not learned anything from Tom?
Yeah, that's right. Well, if he's learned something from me, he's like, "Oh, it's broken. Never mind. Just keep going."
Having a problem.
Yeah, that's right. Mike is not mic'd, but he said that's why he's having a problem. He's learned everything from Tom. If you're watching us on YouTube directly, we would invite you to come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com, click the Watch Live tab, and you can get in on the chat that's going on too. We've got a bunch of folks in chat. We are not streaming to Facebook tonight. We'll try to upload that file later, so you can go watch it there, I guess. Anyway. There we go. All right. We got the 3 up. We're in good shape. So that's Nick on my right and Amnon on my left. And was that a recorder that we just pressed?
Yeah, and
I've never done that. I have this huge sign in my studio that says, "Don't forget to press record."
It's a backup on a backup.
Yeah. No, I don't do a backup.
I don't do a backup either.
Nothing I say is that valuable that needs to be backed up.
Doing backups is tough, especially for a live show. If you're like, you used to be one man, one PC.
Yes.
Doing a backup's tough, one man, one PC, because
one man, one PC. It's impossible.
It is impossible,
Yes.
and that's kind of the situation I'm in.
Yeah. Are you one PC?
Yeah, one PC.
Really? Tell
Yeah.
me about your PC.
It's a i7 6700 something or other,
Okay.
and an GTX 960 or 970.
Okay.
That's nothing crazy.
Okay.
But it's definitely, I mean, I'm using vMix on it.
Yep.
And the resources are, we had 2 people on last night, one with vMix call, one with Skype.
Yep.
And 60, 70% usage on the computer, recording and streaming.
On the same PC.
Everything on the same PC.
Oh man, you have got to come over to NDI.
I use NDI on a laptop to pull in stuff sometimes,
okay.
but
To pull in stuff.
to pull in stuff, not send
yeah.
stuff out. But it's not a problem. The computer doesn't lag, it doesn't hiccup, it
Okay.
doesn't have any
Okay,
problems.
so quality is good.
Quality's perfectly fine.
At
Yeah.
60 to 70%.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah,
That's
it works.
great. All right, I love it. And that's what do you stream at 720?
720 to YouTube and Twitch.
And Twitch.
Yeah.
What are your bit rates at those two?
A meg and a half combined.
each?
Well, I use Restream.
Oh,
Restream.io
okay.
to send out.
Gotcha.
I have bandwidth limited, bandwidth handicapped.
Ouch, I feel your pain. I remember my first streaming gig was at a soccer stadium, and I paid out of my own pocket to have DSL put in there. It was the only only cable that could go into this place, and our uplink total was $350K.
Yeah, that's great for an
Yeah.
audio stream.
Oh yeah, right, exactly. And so, I learned how to make Flash Media Live Encoder squeeze down and work at 350K, and that was a good lesson. There's still days when I need to draw on that kind of experience.
It's nice. Most people don't have. I'd say 5 megabits is probably the average up. Maybe 3 megabits is the average up. So
yeah.
people don't really have the connection to stream to a whole bunch of different places at a high enough bit rate for it to be worth it.
Unless you pay through the nose.
Exactly. Or if there's even an option available.
Right. I've got the local TV cable company, and I've got their highest plan, which costs me $100 a month. I get 100 megs down, which of course who cares about download, but I've got 25 megs up.
Yeah. See, the highest I
feel rich.
I could get FiOS. It's just a pain to get it installed. But Time Warner, the highest they go is 5 megabits in upstate New York.
Wow.
And now, what is Time Warner down here? What's the highest upload they offer? 10?
Upload?
Yeah, it's 10,
20.
20. Yeah. See, they haven't rolled that out yet. That's only in certain areas.
We're supposed to get gigabit,
But,
by fall.
Well, there you go. Then you'll be all set.
and I'm in Alabama.
Yeah, well,
I mean, you can see the edge of the earth from where I live. It's not fair, but I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to complain. Can I see Russia from there? Yeah. No, I can see Cuba from there. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Is the chat room got anything good to say today? We've got it. We started late, even for us.
Yeah.
Um,
But we started. And
but
that's
we started.
what
But we're
counts.
here. That's right.
that's the first step in any production. Just sorry.
And Rudy's saying that it's all Merle's cat's fault. So I guess they're really stretching it there. Gerald says he's only getting a 240 feed, so maybe we're not sending as much as we thought we were sending. Giles says he barely gets a meg up.
Wow.
He is in England, in the southwest corner of the English continent.
Seems like anywhere in the UK and Australia, extremely bandwidth crippled. Most people.
I was talking to folks from Germany today, and they were complaining about their bandwidth too. They just don't have it. But you talk to some of these folks in the I guess it's the Nordic countries.
Okay.
And they've got huge. Jens has got like 1 million up and 1 million down. It's not even.
It's
fair.
crazy how, especially the Australian crew, I see a lot of them on the Facebook page talking about trying to squeeze as much bandwidth out of possible. Even people on my thing. Oh, we need to we can only listen to the audio stream because we're so limited. They're on like 4G or 3G and they're limited by data caps.
Yeah.
Which is awful.
Yeah, we're kind of held hostage there. John is in Sweden, and he's got 100 up. Merle is in Indiana, and he's got 95 down and 24 up.
Is that sufficient enough, do you think, to do what you need to do for production online? 24 megs up?
Oh, golly, yeah.
I would think so, right?
I mean, wouldn't you like to have
Yeah,
that?
I would. I think. What do you think the lowest amount you could possibly? 10 megabits is probably the amount you'd want to do everything you're trying to do. Could you do it with 5? I mean, you can do it with 5.
All right, if you're using the rule of thumb that you don't want to stream at more than 50% of your available bandwidth, so 10 really is 5.
Yeah.
And my typical show, my typical Streaming Idiot show is going to go to YouTube at 2.5, to Facebook at 1.5, and then whatever stuff that happens to be going on with the chat room or Facebook or anything else that's kind of running at the same time. And then I'll go to Twitter and Periscope at like 800.
Is that what they
maybe.
limit it to?
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of bandwidth there. So what's that? That's almost 5.
So you want about 10
there.
megs.
So I could do it at 10.
Plus a caller, if you have somebody on Skype or vMix call, you'd want that would be part of your overhead as well.
Skype adds a lot.
Yeah.
vMix adds, I think he adds less, but there's less going on with vMix. I mean, you don't have as many options. You don't have screen sharing.
Yeah, exactly.
And those kinds of things. It's just a call. And I ran into my first situation today where I had a situation at this corporation I was working at today, and they couldn't accept a vMix call.
Firewall?
Because of firewalls.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, let's bust through these firewalls. And they said, ain't no busting through these firewalls. We don't make exceptions for anybody. Like, okay, well, we won't be using vMix
Have
call.
to use Skype. Well, even I wonder how Skype would even perform.
Well,
under
we were thinking about using vMix call in lieu of doing NDI.
Oh, okay.
Because they've got 2 buildings on the same campus, and we wanted to connect them, so we were just going to use vMix call to connect them.
Yeah.
But we couldn't use that, so I think they're just going to run a cable,
Oh,
put them all on the same network.
I guess that'll work then.
Yeah.
I guess it's the only option.
It would be nice just to say, yeah, we'll just put in a work order and
We'll get that done tomorrow.
Run gigabit over there. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Well, Nick, you were on Streaming Idiots about, was it before Christmas? Or
It was just before March 10th. Before.
Is that recent?
Yeah,
Wow, okay.
yeah, because I went out to Boston the week after.
That's
I think.
right. That's right. And you went to a big convention?
Yeah, I went to PAX East, which is like a gaming convention out in Boston.
Did you spend money there?
Yeah, spent some money there. But it was actually, I think we talked about it when I was on the show that week. We were talking about monetization.
Right.
We actually were able to crowdfund our trip out there. So we were able to pay for 2 people to fly in and for me to
Get
drive in
out.
and to stay at the hotel. So
And so, as a result of that, you reported back
Yes, yeah,
to your funders.
made a whole bunch of YouTube videos and we did a lot, like an hour and a half live show from the hotel there. It was, yeah, we did our own Patreon, I guess you
That
could
is
say.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And
it was a lot of fun.
And it was sort of restricted to that specific event
Yep.
and that specific trip.
Yep.
And then what followed? Are you still doing follow-ups? Do I need to get closer to this mic? Okay. There we go. Are you still doing follow-ups on that? I mean,
So actually, it was the one thing we really looked forward to was going out and networking. I mean, I'm sure you've dealt with this before too. You send people emails, they don't get back to you.
Right.
But once you put a name to somebody's face and shake their hand,
yes.
it's a different type of connection.
Absolutely.
So if we used it as more of let's get our foot in the door for some of these companies that, I'm sure, especially in the gaming and technology world, they get thousands of emails a day from every YouTube and Twitch channel that wants something for free or an interview.
Right.
So it was a nice networking event more than anything else.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh, that's super. Yeah, that was my experience at NAB this year, was to meet so many folks that I've wanted to meet, and then to meet people that were nowhere on my radar, and came up and said, been watching your videos for years, and I'm going, oh, geez.
Depends on videos.
Yeah, that's right. Depends on which ones you saw. But really was able to make some good friends and folks that I know I'll be in contact with. In fact, some that I met out there that I'm going to see again in, I guess, next month at the StreamCon event down in Atlanta.
Seriously, for people, though, if you have the opportunity to go to an event, if it's just to shake hands with people and introduce yourself, it's totally worth it. Because it's a different type of... You will get a response to your email once you've met that person and they know your name. It's just a totally different thing.
Yep. If you're interested in StreamCon, let me know. Tom at EasternShoreBroadcasting.com. It's June 8th through 11th in Atlanta. The URL is streamcon.net. I'm going to be presenting there. Amnon's getting excited about something over there.
got it.
I'm going to be presenting, and one of the tracks is going to be on monetization. We're going to have a track on... oh golly, my mind just went blank. If Gerald's in the chat room, he can fill in some of the blanks on that. But it's going to be great, and it's going to be, I would say, compared to NAB, where there were 70,000 of my best friends there. This is going to be a little bit more intimate than that. So you'll probably get to meet everybody that comes. You may not get to know everybody, but you'll get to meet everybody that comes and have an opportunity to hang out with the presenters over a beer or a cup of coffee. And, that's a lot of times not necessarily the event itself, but the folks that attend the event that you bump into and you have lunch with, you have breakfast with, you go out with afterwards, and you talk shop. Those are the. I remember when I was in a different industry. I was in the home inspection industry for 20 years, and loved that, and went to several conventions. And I got a lot of stuff out of the convention, but it was sitting down afterwards, swapping stories with people, and what works, what doesn't work, and somebody can stand up and present a great way that things should work, but I want to talk to somebody that actually does it and hear, yeah, don't ever do that. I don't care what they say about it. Don't ever do that. This is why, blah, 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 blah. And that's the stuff I want to know. Let's see, what does chat room have to say?
Nothing, but now you can ask me about now I'm done, so I
Now
can answer
you're
your
done.
questions.
Okay. All right. We'll let Nick off the hot seat for a few minutes. So back in July 2012,
Yeah.
coming up on 5 years ago, you
Wow,
were a
that
guest on my show.
I'm not that old.
And funny
No,
story
I'm not.
funny story behind that, because you were my second choice. Did I ever tell you that?
You must have, but I don't remember.
You didn't take offense.
Yeah,
at it.
I'm that old that I forget things like that.
Amnon doesn't. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Amnon doesn't know this then, but when I started my first show, it was that VidBlaster guy. That was back when I was into VidBlaster, and I was convinced that VidBlaster was the best software.
It still is. It is still the best software. Don't let Tom fool you.
We all thought that.
We all thought
It was
that
fine
until we
while
got
it lasted.
banned.
Yeah.
And I really well, let me put it this way. I don't know that I thought it was the best software, but I thought it had the most potential, because it had a developer behind it that was listening, or at least I thought was listening to his folks, and making strides forward. And Wirecast was really good, but it was sort of caught up in this corporate culture that sort of slowed its growth, and I think that's probably still going on. But so I decided I was going to invite the developer of VidBlaster to come on my show as my very first. No, I think he was going to be my second guest. Were you the first guest?
I thought I was.
I think you
but
were the
it
first
doesn't
guest.
matter.
Okay, maybe I invited him, and
That's probably why he didn't want to come, because I was there. And you
He's-
remember
he
what went
saw-
between us.
he saw the first show, and he said that he would come back on the show when the level of production improved.
Are you kidding me?
Think about who you're talking about. Make it clear, Tom, though, when this was 5 years ago, there wasn't options. There was two pieces of software. That was it. It was Wirecast or VidBlaster.
Well, there was Minicam,
But that wasn't a
or-
streaming software. That was like a webcam, play around software. It was things have changed drastically over the last 5
Drastically.
years.
Well,
Let me just tell people something.
what?
That if they want to call in, they can
You mean call in with a phone number?
with a phone number.
Wow.
919-518-9773. Or if you're another part of the world, you can also come in on Computers 2K Voice on Skype. Computers 2K Voice.
I don't know that we want any of these people that are
Well,
listening to come into this show.
It's fine. We can always disconnect them.
What was that number again? 919
919-518-9773. 9773.
Microphone blocks. All right, I'm gonna dare to put that number in chat, and we'll see
Do
if
it.
we
I mean,
can't
yeah,
get
yeah, come on.
somebody to
It's-
call.
if
So if
they
they call
call
in,
in-
they're going to call in, and there's going to be a call screener that's going to talk to them and make sure that they're
Right.
who they say they
Sure.
are. And
Absolutely,
and get their
absolutely.
number, maybe get a credit card so that you
Yeah,
gotta-
definitely take the credit card.
live call screening. Okay, got it.
What's the producer we used? What was the producer we used back in the day on Ustream?
Oh, that was, what's his name?
Guido was saying, LOL, we can always disconnect them. I love it. Merle says,
Oh,
okay,
jeez, Merle.
everybody's going to die.
Everybody
die.
It's fine. Go ahead and do it. You're not.
We
you're
are
not-
just hanging out.
It's a
here having
radiothon.
fun.
Donate. Give your money.
So,
Let Spence sit for
Oh,
a
okay.
little bit.
Thank you.
yes, Spence is going to come take Nick's chair for a minute.
In the chair.
Spence is real tall, so we need to readjust.
We got to readjust here.
Okay.
So Amnon, my show quality was not good enough.
It wasn't good
It
enough
was
for
not
him.
good enough for him
boy.
to
Yeah,
come on.
and you know what ended up being? His software quality was not good enough for him.
But wasn't that part of the problem? Because he had this kind of
He was,
mental
forget about him.
mental
He was-
barrier about
He was
nothing he did
ridiculous.
could be wrong.
he couldn't take criticism.
He was
Yeah.
he was ridiculous. I mean, I don't know how the software is today. Maybe it
I don't either.
maybe it matured. I have no idea. I mean, aren't the people in the chat that are using it? Some people that
There may be some.
still using it. Yeah.
There may be some.
So I mean, it may be. It was easy for me. It was very
was easy.
easy. It was
And you wouldn't give it up because it was so easy to
because
use.
it was so easy, and because I tried Wirecast and I couldn't figure it out.
Yep.
And thanks
but-
to Nick.
Vidmaster you had all kinds of issues with upgrades and having to go back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Back up. You install a new version and this doesn't work. You had to back it up. And you
It was-
you don't know. You had to. I remember you were like 6 or 7 minor releases back.
I know because the new ones did all kind of weird things.
Well, and there was one that came out that wiped out all your profiles. And so if you had
That's
any
right.
profiles
Right.
Yep.
stored,
Yep.
they were gone.
Gone.
And if you reverted back, they were still gone.
Yeah, it would actually remove them when you because you had to uninstall the program itself before you put a new one on certain releases.
Yeah,
and
that's
he
right.
didn't tell you that. And when you uninstalled,
Everything.
took everything with it.
But he was
but
he was a
backups.
one-
Thank
he
God
was a
for
one-man
backups.
shop, right?
Yeah.
So he was his own quality control, and that's why.
Well, that doesn't. No, as a matter of fact, in my opinion, if you're a one-man operation, you can keep your hand on quality control much better. Because you have to, because the buck stops there.
Well,
So
communication's
it's-
not an issue unless you're multiple personalities like he
Well,
was.
I mean, he was ridiculous. I mean, he cared more about people not asking questions in the chat than about anything. You know?
I remember that.
It was.
Get annoyed.
What did he used to call it? Infraction.
Infractions. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I got
Forget it.
I got infractions. Oh, I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Anyway, it's
Anyway,
up against that dealing with the folks
nobody's
at
calling,
VMix.
by the way.
I know. I know.
They're scared. You
well,
scared
they're
them.
so intimidated by the
Yeah.
three of us
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call either. But dealing with the guys at VMix now, in comparison to that, is an absolute dream.
I'm sure.
You know, those guys are so humble. They're young, but they're so friggin' smart.
How big is the development team? Do you know how many people? One person?
One person is the coder.
But
Now
they
he's-
have a support staff too.
but he's got support, and VMix itself actually came out of a hosting company in Australia. Was their bread and butter business, and then Martin Sinclair, no direct relation to me, but possibly may have been somewhere back there, 15th cousin or something like that. Martin, I think 6 or 7 years ago, they wanted to do something at their church, and they didn't have a way to combine cameras together. So he just sat down and wrote the software to do it. And that was VMix 1. And after about VMix 4 or 5, he decided he really had something, and he started releasing it. And, you know, the history has just burned up since then. You know, they just spent probably the better part of $150,000 in Las Vegas at the NAB show to do the NAB booth thing. That's amazingly expensive.
That's the church market is a huge market. I know that my daughter
Yes.
belongs to a church that does a lot of production, and they were locked into one Mac platform for their video controllers, and they're streaming. I'm trying to remember what they used to stream, but they signed up with a company that supported just churches, and it was a very good job. I don't know what they're worth now, but This was 5 or 6 years ago.
5 or 6 years ago was the Wild Wild West.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
look at what we did when we were at the radio station.
I know.
The second hour we'd stream, and then we'd stream from the beginning, but the second hour was not on the air.
Right, it
on
was-
the radio. We would just stream, and we
Right.
were using.
It was. We were
you
using
streaming just
Ustream.
audio?
We were
Or were you
no, we
streaming
do
video?
Video too.
Oh, you guys were so far
but
ahead.
the way we did it, we had a cam or two, and the cams were actually in the screener room. You know, it's got the double
Right.
glass between
Yes.
studio, and
So-
through the glass,
We'd have to pick an angle so that we
yeah,
wouldn't get the reflection
was
from the
amazing.
glass.
and we were using the Ustream producer.
Oh yeah,
They got that from someone. I don't remember who
Wirecast.
that was.
It was
They
Wirecast.
branded it Ustream.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was an early Wirecast.
Yep.
It was early wire. I mean, I
And
found out when I
Our
started.
big problem was not having a virtual camera switcher.
Right, there was no
So
camera.
we would-
It
if-
was there.
We had a camera from Microsoft and a camera from Logitech.
Yeah, because
They
you
had
couldn't
two
choose.
Logitechs. You
Yeah.
couldn't switch back and forth
Right.
because they use the same driver.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was.
That's probably still the case.
We still have recordings of any of that. Because we recorded.
Somebody's calling. I love it.
Hello.
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 Who's this?
This Otis.
Hi,
Otis, welcome.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great,
Let
great.
me get
Thanks
this
for
down.
calling.
Okay.
Okay, it was great talking to you. See you later. No, just teasing, just teasing. So what's going on?
Yeah.
Do you have a question for
We're in
these
church.
old guys?
We're a church and we're using vMix to stream on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and Ustream all at the same time now.
Oh wow. What kind of bandwidth have you got?
Bandwidth is like 59, I think, up. Is it down? And then 12. I can't remember the number.
12
right now.
sounds like 12 up. Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
But
that's
we
great.
do a pretty good job, and actually, I'm gonna try to incorporate some parishioners into using vMix Call to get me some camera shots from their cell phones in the worship service.
Oh wow. I would love to see that. That is too cool. That is too cool. Let me know when you do that. I'd love to see it.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, Dave Edwards is saying in the chat room that he thinks that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, guys. Get back to work here.
All right, Otis. Thanks for calling, man. We'll see you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, Otis calling about his church. Thank you, sir. That's great.
Why is it that so many of the users of the software are churches? I mean, it's not just vMix.
Right,
Wirecast.
right.
Same thing was with VidBlaster. You
Right.
always heard from the church people. I'm sure other people did too, but it was always the church people that would be active in.
Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, what is it? What is the purpose of a church? The purpose of the church is to spread the message.
Right. Yeah.
Outreach.
Yeah, yeah. And if there was ever a technology that was designed to spread the message near and far, it's live streaming. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you guys, I don't know if you've ever met Alan Bunt, but Alan is up in Wisconsin
I didn't meet him, but
and
We
at Good Shepherd Lutheran, and their virtual congregation exceeds their on-site congregation. And they embrace these virtual members. Their particular type of service involves communion.
Yes.
And so they send communion kits to the folks that are virtual members so that when it comes time to celebrate communion at church, the people at home can do it too.
hey, Giles.
Hi, I'm
Oh my goodness. Okay, we can hang up on that one. Giles, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Tom. Thank you.
What
I-
time is it
I
there in
couldn't-
England?
It's about 10:30, I think, now. Something like that, PM, evening. No, it's 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock PM.
Yeah, 11.
11 o'clock. Way past your bedtime.
Yeah, somewhat. Mind you, I didn't go to bed till 3:30 this morning, so I suppose, I'm okay. I had to stay up to watch the VMix Fun Time live show last night.
Oh yes. Oh yes, that was fun. We
It
won't
certainly was.
we won't be as late as that one. Now, Giles, you've got the world of live streaming on Monday nights at what's it, 3 o'clock Eastern in the U.S. and 8 o'clock in England.
Yeah, 8 p.m. UK on a Monday. That's right.
And if somebody
And
wants to
we-
watch, what URL are they going to go to?
The easiest one to go to is stepbackintime.tv.
Step Back in Time TV. So is this a retrospective of live streaming?
We kind of set up as a museum. The idea was to kind of film stuff that was old and disappearing. And World of Live Streaming kind of just happened because we kind of were watching your show and we thought, oh, it'd be quite good fun to try this. So that's how we kind of appeared.
It would be quite good fun. I'm sorry, I'm just teasing you. So you actually had to change the name of the show recently because there was a show by the same name, and you changed over to World of Live Streaming, which I think is just an excellent choice. Excellent choice. Have you got that URL?
Yeah, but the best thing, as I say, is to go to stepbackintime.tv.
Okay.
We do have the worldoflivestreaming.com, but there's a few problems with that one at the moment. So stepbackintime.tv. But I had to call in this evening because we have a kind of phone in like this on our show, and people, understandably are nervous about calling in and things like that. So I couldn't really not call in tonight, could I?
Well, after Amnon said we just hang up on folks, I can understand why they might be a little reluctant to put themselves out there. Well, thank you. Thank you.
So the thing is now, all you guys in the chat room who are saying, Giles, you've got to go on and do it, you've got to do it now.
There you go. All right. Well,
But
Giles,
thanks for having me on.
great talking to you. Thanks for calling in, and we'll see you soon.
And it's a great show. It's great to see all you guys together. You really meld well together. It's great to see.
Well, it's kind of like a reunion, except we haven't all met.
Haven't really met before physically.
I don't get it.
Actually, Martin and I met a while back, and it was kind of like we'd known each other for years. Do you have that kind of experience?
I do. Yeah, meeting Spence was like meeting an old friend.
Yeah.
Merle was saying in the chat just a few minutes ago, wondering if what was it Merle said?
I was going to do the specials.
Yes, that's right.
We can roll them out. Let's do specials from 5 years ago.
That would be something.
Oh, I have. I
Probably.
didn't save them, but they're somewhere.
Oh my
Right?
goodness.
Yeah, there's some. I mean,
Yeah.
on computers 2K now, there's probably, you just
You
need to
would
snip it.
laugh.
Oh.
That'd be
laugh.
something.
Yeah, you can get a 100 megabyte drive now for only $500.
That's A solid
I
state
remember
drive
paying
for only
600
$2,000.
quid. Yeah. I remember paying 600 quid for a 20 megabyte hard drive back about 1987, I think it was.
Oh wow.
Things have changed. Things have definitely changed. Do I hear Tess's voice in the background?
I love that word. It's not pounds, it's quid.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the same thing?
Anyway,
Quid, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I better clear the line for somebody else, but thanks for
All
having
right.
me on, guys.
Giles, we'll see you. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, everybody.
Take care.
So I wonder if streaming that was done years ago, just a few years ago, is like going back and watching old MTV videos from the early days. You remember what was the adult version of MTV? There was another, you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
Amnon. But those videos, the production quality was horrible. And you go back, oh, how did I watch that stuff? Pop-up videos used to be on.
But it was the best.
At the time.
There was.
But if we go back and look at our original streaming, it would be, what is that guy sitting in a room with a camera off of his laptop? I did a lot of, the last job I had working in corporate world, I was selling video conferencing. as
Okay.
well as applications that went along with it.
Okay.
And I actually produced a guide for my fellow technical salespeople on how to have a decent camera. People would, oh, I'll just use the camera built into my laptop. So you'd see somebody there with their eyes. All you saw were their eyes and the rest of the back. One guy was sitting at a table in his bedroom, and his wife was making the bed in the background. I said, wait a second, don't do this. You got to think about what's on your camera. So I actually produced a guide on how to do a green screen, how to use, what software to use, what kind of camera to get, what kind of microphone to buy. And
How long ago was that?
5 or 6 years ago.
People are still making those same mistakes.
I mean, and they were looking at me like I was crazy.
Amnon, tell us about your studio. Kenny wants to know about your studio. What do you do here?
What do you mean? What
Nick's
do I do here?
chuckling.
Kenny wants to know what am I doing in the
Well,
studio?
okay, all right. Well,
I do.
tell us about your studio.
I do our show, Computers 2K Now.
Yes. Sunday mornings at 9 a.m.
Right. And I tell that story. I mean, you can go and listen to the show on streaming. Well, that VidBlaster guy. When we were on the radio, and we were doing the show on the radio since '93, and then it started going down. It was sold. That's it. So the audience obviously dropped next to nothing. And we said, and they didn't want to give us, they were taking time away. So I said, I'm going to just build a studio at home. So I built the studio. I mean, it was a room. And
This was 1993.
no, this was 2008, 2009, something like that. And we started doing it, and it was great. And then I said, after a few months, I said, all this equipment for couple of hours, 3-4 hours show on a Sunday. I said no.
People, are y'all hearing this?
So I
This is
started.
the way you need to be thinking.
I started asking people if they want to do a show,
Yes.
and
So all right,
And it started-
Stop. You started asking people. So you're just walking down the
no,
street.
people, friends,
friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, people that I knew can actually
Not really good
contribute.
friends, but just sort of acquaintance.
They
kind of
could
friends.
do something to. They could contribute something to the public by doing a show, not
Okay.
just sit there.
So
and
talented
talk.
people.
Talented people.
People that had passion.
So
for
we
a
started
particular
with
subject.
homeopathy
Okay.
and business coaching,
All right.
things like that, and
Yep.
and it started growing. Now it's kind of stagnated for a while, and we're dropping a little bit back. And there is about 3 shows that may come up in the next few weeks. We'll see. So it's just something that you don't just let it sit there all week long.
Now these are live shows of people that are physically coming to your studio.
These are live shows, and they are all live shows, but not all of them come to the studio.
Okay.
Some of them are from anywhere in the United States, and
Virtual
they call in
shows.
virtual.
Okay.
They call in with Skype, and if they have a guest, then we bring them. But you never know it. I mean, this is what, even when they sit here, I mean, the way that it works. I mean, right now, you look at us, and we look like if we don't look at each other, it looks like we're in 2 different places.
Yes, it
because
does.
of the background and all
Right.
that stuff. So we do it like this, and even with Skype, they don't know whether the host is here or not, but it doesn't matter. They are there for the content, right? And that's
Right.
That's what.
Right.
And it's just a work in progress anyway here in the studio. And if it wasn't for one person in particular who helped,
Is there anybody that might be close by?
it's probably
Texting on his
somebody
phone?
who is close by.
Mad scientist.
You can have a talk. You can talk with him. I don't know if people know him.
Well,
What do you mean? Audio is not important.
Audio is not
absolutely.
important.
There it is, right there. There it is, right there. I was telling that
So
to
here's
the
Mike
folks this
Phillips.
afternoon,
Yeah.
and I said, you can have the video is easy, audio is hard, and they said, yeah, but audio. I said, audio is huge, guys. If you don't have audio, you may as well wrap it up.
But there's a reason for that. You can see the video. Audio, you have to have a lot of faith.
Well, and if the audio's good, nobody appreciates it except you.
Well, no, but that's correct. I mean, Nick and I were just talking about that. We have he and I are involved in a radio station project, and we produce some pre-recorded programming for that show in our Raleigh studio to play on our Wilmington radio station. And we were listening. He and I both were listening to this one pre-recorded show, and I got to tell you, even though I built the studio, it sounded network quality. I was impressed with it, and I didn't make the equipment. What?
You're turning away, and I don't see any.
Well,
signal.
that's a board op problem.
I know.
These actually work. We can order some PR40s, Amnon.
There you go. Yeah.
Now order some PR40s. In fact, one of the PR40s on this particular production is the one that Amnon used to use.
And it does more important job over there.
So is a PR40 a microphone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Smarty.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
So now
resist.
you have a new name.
These people are
Dr.
mic
Sound.
snobs, folks. Just
Dr.
want to
Sound.
let you know,
Dr.
these
Sound.
guys are mic snobs. When it comes to microphones, they're like, they're all gold plated. They've got titanium underlays and
Nah,
and chrome moly
they just sound
construction.
great. They sound great. That's what it's all about, is what does it sound like? Cost is no object.
If you could go back and not listen to all the rock music that ruined your ears, would you not listen to it all?
I don't know. I don't know
and
about
have
that.
pristine hearing today?
I don't know about that, and I'll tell you why. I mean, it's a serious question, and I understand it, and I know you're suffering with your aging, but the reality is, and I mean this sincerely. The
That's
reality
why I have
is,
lower thirds to remember.
I'm
who
sorry.
I am.
What'd you say? There was a lot of enjoyment. I mean, that was a big part of my life in music. So would I trade? I don't know. My hearing is actually not bad for someone my age, considering what I've been through.
Right.
I know a lot of people, including some college classmates, who are wearing hearing aids. And my problem, it's interesting, what has happened to my hearing is not caused by rock music. It was caused by wearing headphones in a radio station that were blowing my brains out. I mean, they would hit bass notes and my eyes would bulge. And but the fact is that my hearing now is not so much that I can't hear it. I can hear it. I just can't understand what you're saying. The intelligibility factor has declined dramatically.
It's muddled.
It's messed up. Now, I mean, we've got somebody said Rode NTG3. It's a great microphone. I prefer the Sennheiser MKH416 because I have one. I'm going to buy an NTG3. And for voiceover work, it's probably better than an MKH416 told to me by a voiceover guy who has a beautiful voice. And so someone says I'm going to keep my old RE20. Well, that's what Amnon's using.
That's Mike's.
I prefer the PR40 to the RE20. That's why I gave that one to Amnon to use. Telefunken U47.
This one is a Audio Technica.
Yeah, it depends on whether that one is $350, $400. These are $59.
Are you
I
trying
think
to
this
see
one
which
says
mo-
Kmart on it.
No.
No, what's the one we like now? The new one. The new the new one that's the same. It's
The knockoff?
yeah,
It's the Knox.
Knox KNOX. KNOX. Good.
KNOX.
radio.
No
It's
way.
just a ATR 2100 clone.
Same thing with the radio.
Well, we actually think it might be made by the same people who make the ATR 2100 because
Yeah.
Audio Technica doesn't make it. But they're all cheap Chinese crap, but they work amazingly well for the price. You can't beat it. So Michael Wilson says, get a Telefunken U47. Well, yes and no. U47 is the Amnon's holding up
That's the Knox.
that's the Knox microphone, which looks
the
identical to the
same as
real
the one
thing
you
that
have
you
there.
have beside it.
Wow.
It's the same thing that someone took one apart, tested them, can't tell any difference.
Got a different switch.
So,
But the light's in
well,
the
but
same
the switch
place.
looks like this ATR 2100 switch.
Yes,
See there?
Yes, it does.
So we think it's the same sweatshop with
The
kids
same
and all that.
connections on the back.
Wow.
So, but it's for $40, it's worth it. The
It's
other
not
one
branded at all.
No, the other one is a Samsung Q2U, which is, again, it's the same microphone. And if you buy one, it comes with a pair of headphones that when you get them, you really need to throw them in the trash can. So anyway, Michael Wilson's talking about the Telefunken U47. Well, that depends on what you're talking about. The old U47s are awesome. I had a U47 that I should have kept. I didn't. And he said they start around $8,000, and producing them since the late 60s. Actually, they were producing them since the 50s. They discontinued them in the 60s, and they were $250 when they were new. If you'd bought 10 of them, you could retire, but sort of, not really. But anyway, their Telefunken has reissued that microphone, and it is uses a capsule that you can get in about 100 other microphones. So there's really nothing special about that. Guido says that he's always used the Shure SM7. People have it and love it. I don't like it. I had two. I got rid of them. Sold one for $125 and one for $200. These are $350 microphones new. But that's okay.
I feel that way about TriCasters.
Well, whatever. I mean,
You've got one, sell it as soon as you can and get whatever you can out of it, because it's going to be.
Well, no, people
anchor.
love the SM7, and I don't. What I do like about the SM7 is that the windscreen is awesome, absolutely awesome, and it looks good. If you like the look of the microphone in your face in the studio, it looks good. It has a really good look to it. It's not a bad microphone. To me, I am convinced that, and I've done some A/B blind microphone tests and released them online. I believe that if you did a blind test between an SM7 properly configured and a PR40, at least 75% of the people would choose the PR40. What a lot of people who listen on, you want to hear this?
Yeah,
okay.
Man, I'm eating this up. Are you kidding?
A lot of people
this
who
is education. Folks.
Well,
this
we could talk for an hour, and I don't have an hour. So, what the people who don't like the sound of the PR40, and I think this is an important point. The people who don't like the PR40 say that it has a hyped low end and high end. If you listen directly to that mic through the mixer or through a preamp or whatever, it does have a hyped high end and low end. You want me to look at the camera?
Yeah, please.
The reason that that's beneficial is that whenever you're trying to cut through the noise and once you broadcast that hype signal, it comes out better on the other end than one that has a really flat signal. So SM7's a good mic. I'll probably buy another one here, but I just don't like it. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's a great mic. And people ask me all the time, what's the best microphone? The answer is simple. The one that you like that does what you want. That is the best microphone that money can buy.
There it is. There it is.
If it's $49 or if it's $8,000.
I mean, remember the ones, the ATR 2100 and the 2005 one, when we bought them, they were like 37.
We bought some for $37, $38.
Yeah.
And then you guys started talking good about them, and the price kept going up.
Well, I mean, I think Nick will verify this. I am the one who introduced the ATR 2100 to the community. No, to the community.
To the community, to the podcast community.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's all because I was excited about it, and in those days I was talking a lot with Ray Ortega. Ray had a pretty good presence on the internet. I guess he still does. He started bragging about it. He started doing some good testing with it, and he got excited about it, and it just kind of exploded from there. So,
yeah.
But it's a great value for the money. As far as, Sean just bought 5 Blue Yetis. And they work great with a snowball, too, Sean. You need to get 5 of those, and they look good.
Sean was just saying that he thought the Logitech C920 had a a mic in it, too.
Yeah, that's for his voice, it would be a perfect fit.
Sean is talking about Bigfoot. The snowman.
Merle wants to know about a reasonably priced shotgun mic. In my experience, for starters, what do you mean reasonable? The MKH 416 is $1,000. Some people argue that's a value. The NTG3 Rode, I saw it was $600. You could find them on sale for $500. I bought an Audio-Technica AT897. Amnon was using it, and he had a problem with it, so he broke it. So I don't know how well it works.
No, I did not. He's
Well-
got a good sense of humor. He's got a good sense of humor.
It
It didn't work for us. I mean, it didn't work. I wanted something that will be out of the picture for the hosts.
Right.
And Mike said, "Yep, this will work." It would work, but the hosts, I mean, somebody has to know how to talk to a microphone, whether it's next to your mouth or whether it's away. You have to know how to talk to it, and when they don't, forget it.
And one thing that we've got some audio people in your chat who actually know a lot more about audio than you do, and they a lot of the pros tend to overlook something. In fact, they're kind of offended with the assertion. But the reality is that for most video applications, when you're using I guess we'd call it the radio style of setup, where you've got the microphone in front of you, you're not totally trying to hide the microphone, which is okay. But in those cases, like in yours, people can see that the microphone is in the shot. And so this is intentional. That's not just misplaced. We don't care. It's an audio talking head show. So we don't care. I'd rather have better sound quality than have which is different from what you do, which is fine. You're interested in the video shot. So you tend to put the microphone halfway across the room to pick up the audio. And but that's okay. It's different strokes for different folks.
And I was just about to brag on Mike helping me get pristine audio in my studio, but I guess maybe he doesn't feel that way.
No, I think your audio is pristine. If you'd get 2 or 3 feet closer to the microphone, you'd see how pristine it really is.
I'm trying to get the mic out of the picture. That's the thing.
No, and some people prefer to do that. And all joking aside,
Really?
with video, sometimes it's perfectly fine. Nick and I were talking about this not too long ago, in that whenever on our radio station, we just started carrying the audio from the morning news of a local TV station. And I told Nick before it ever listened, I said, it's going to sound really funky to you. And he said, why is that? I said, because when you watch TV and you see the picture, you hear the audio, when they're in sync, you really don't pay that much attention to the audio. When you're not watching a movie with a dramatic soundtrack, you don't pay that much attention to it. But these people are sitting there using lav mics. They're not doing really high quality switching, which there's an electronic mixer called a Dugan, as I recall, that does some automatic gating on each mic. But you're getting a lot of cross pickup between the microphones, and bottom line, it sounds like you're in a barrel. It's not a high quality mic pickup. But with video, you get away with it. Audio, in an audio situation, you would not. So over the air, it sounds like you're listening to a TV. You can tell it's TV audio because their audio is so crappy. But they're making all the money. Who cares?
Yeah, and you don't pay attention when you watch them.
It's psychoacoustic effect.
Psychoacoustic. I like that.
Yeah.
Couldn't spell it, but I like it.
Yeah. So anyway, microphones are a lot of fun.
Well, I am.
Yeah.
I continue to be appreciative, Mike, of the time that you spent with me, helping me get set up. It must have taken me 3 weeks to understand mix minus. Bless his heart, he went at it time and time and time again.
Still doesn't understand.
I know what it does, but I don't know how it's configured.
Let me help.
Okay.
I
have it now, but that's okay.
If you don't understand inputs and outputs, you're screwed.
Yeah, I know. I don't. But you see, the main problem here is that when something goes wrong, it was set up by Mike.
Yes.
Mike did everything. Okay,
Yes.
here, this goes here, this goes there, this
Right.
goes there. I don't know how to. I had to change this mixer. I had exactly the same one. I brought the other one. I took a picture of this one, all the settings, how the knobs are. I put it right next to it. I moved one wire from the back, put it in the same place in the back, put it out, and just duplicate it. If I had to take this mixer right now and do it all from scratch, no way. I wouldn't know how to.
Got a lot of knobs on it.
It's not a matter of a lot of knobs. It's a matter of what Mike just said, understanding it.
What happens if I push this? No.
Well, you see, sometimes I have papers here that about these switches, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Just so I would know, because first of all, you don't do it. Normally, it just you leave it alone and that's it.
Yeah.
But if something comes up, you have to do, and I'm not. That's not because I know that I can always call Mike, and Mike will fix it. So it's
Well, but there are not too many more years. I mean, at his age, you're just not going to be able to count on that.
Actually,
You keep
I'm-
thinking that.
yeah. I'm the first one.
Your viewers better watch every episode.
Oh boy.
So anyway, somebody was asking a question, and it scrolled by. I realize you got that print real big because it's hard for you to see at your age. But
For those of you that don't understand what's going on here,
Is that the one you were thinking of?
there was always something going on between Tom and us at Computers 2K now because we were all older. That's before Nick came in.
Right.
And-
yeah.
and-
Nick dropped the average age like
Yeah.
40 years.
And Tom used to come in the chat and say, "Oh, these old guys." It's fine.
well, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. Tom and I are the same age.
Oh.
That's true.
He's a little older.
That's
But.
true. 57.
All right. So what was the question?
The question was, would I prefer a lav mic or a shotgun? And the answer depends on the application. If I'm on TV in a room with acoustically treated walls, which most smaller studios are not, then I'd probably go with a lav. But if the room is acoustically treated, the shotgun works better. So I don't know what the answer to that question is. I would try it on the. I would probably have to try it and see which one works better. I mean, TV has done both. Now, I will tell you that if you're going to do live shots or if you're going to have more than one person on the set and use the same shotgun for both, you'd better have a really good person operating the boom mic. You can't just position it and leave it if the people are not directly in front of it. And I've had someone in TV who has been doing TV. She does work for the Olympics and all sorts of things. Because I was watching a movie one time, and people don't think about it. Because if it's right, you say it's normal. It just doesn't occur to you to think about what they're doing. But I have a natural curiosity for that sort of thing. And these people, I added a subwoofer on my TV at home, so this movie's playing, and I don't watch many movies. But so this guy's on camera. It may have been a Harry Potter thing or something like that. My wife watched. And I'm sitting there, and this guy starts talking. What's the guy's name with the deep voice on Harry Potter?
I'm not into
Hagrid?
I don't know. Didn't he
the
die?
big guy? The giant? Really?
Anyways, no, it's Snape, Voldemort. Maybe that's who it is. Snape. Which one is it?
It doesn't matter. It's the one with
Well,
the.
but people who watch
I-
it will know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. So this guy starts talking, and it sounds like he's in front of a Neumann U47 in a $1 million studio. And I said, wait a minute, this is video. How are they doing that? So I called my friend and I asked her, I said, how are they doing that? She said, well, for starters, don't beat yourself up on it, because she said in movies, at least 80% of the dialogue is overdubbed.
Ah.
So when you see them with this fishpole out there, a lot of times that's just for a track to be able to overdub the audio on top of it. Now, I think 80% is high, but what am I to do to argue with her? I can't prove she's wrong. But the audio was just fantastic. But then again, this Dugan mixer that all the network talking head shows use, so the shows are durable to put up with all that crap. And what it is the Dugan mixer is an automated way that it sits there when you talk, it pots your channel up and pots mine down. When I talk, it pots mine up and pots yours down. So it eliminates the combing effect that you get with two microphones in the same room. It's very expensive, but if that's what you do for a living, then so be it. Martin says it's ADR. I'm not a video guy, Martin, so I defer to you. Somebody said, what's the name of the Mike show? Mike is on Computers 2K now on some Sunday mornings. Things have been busy since I moved into a new house in October of last year. But it's computers2know.com, Sunday mornings Eastern time from 9 to 11 a.m.
You're making history today. I don't think this ever happened before.
Uh-oh.
Something else.
Streaming, streaming,
Nick said, somebody's watching.
streaming idiots
Yes.
produced with
Real talent.
Wirecast.
Oh no, streaming was produced with Wirecast. It's very early days.
Was it?
It was encoded and streamed with Wirecast.
Produced.
I don't think I ever produced
Was that
with Wirecast.
actually
I used Wirecast. as
Streaming
the streamer.
Idiots, or was it still VidBlaster?
That
Well,
Red Blaster guy.
There was an overlap time
Okay.
where I did both the shows the same day back to back, and so a lot of times I'd have the same guest hold over and then pretend like I'd never talked with them before and
Well,
do the other show.
Amnon's only got 71 more payments for that copy of the Vid Blaster that you sold him, and then he's switching to vMix.
Do you know I had a use for something? I can't remember what it was, but I said, I wonder if VidBlaster will do it, because Wirecast didn't.
On XP.
To bring in PowerPoint,
Okay.
and I didn't want to use Desktop Presenter and all that. I loaded it, and it went chugga 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 chugga. I mean, forget it.
Well, you've got to make the switch again.
Well, I
You've
mean,
gotta- you've
I
gotta
know.
just
You
force
guys-
Nick
you
is a
guys can
diehard
try,
VMix
and
guy.
it will happen. It just needs.
Well, but we all started out being a diehard something at some point, and then we switched at some point because we found something better. And for me, it was really, really hard to switch because it meant learning something new
I
that
know.
didn't think the way I thought.
That's the problem here.
You and I
That
with
is the problem
VidBlaster,
here.
we were just like hogs in slop. We just fell into it and wallowed around, and if we thought about it, it worked the way we thought.
Right,
and-
and it did.
But sometimes you got to give up what you're comfortable with
Yeah.
to make improvements.
Oh, once I switched to Wirecast, it was like a whole different world. Now I can't figure out
There's an
vMix.
even better world
I'm
ahead.
sitting there and I'm trying, and I don't understand it.
20 minutes.
But well,
Not for him.
10?
2 hours.
I know what's going to happen when the time comes and I'm ready for it.
Yes.
Nick is gonna team viewed in, and he's gonna do it. And that's always. I mean, when I did this, it's also Nick came in and did it, and then Stephen Haywood came in and did some stuff. And at that point, I had a skeleton that I could look at and figure out. Oh, so this is how it's done. So now I'm
Right.
duplicate that,
Right.
save it as something else, and build on it, and that's how it is. I mean, I feel pretty good with Wirecast now. I mean, I feel very comfortable with it, but only with what I'm doing with it.
Right.
There are things in the menu there that I have no idea what they are, and I don't care, and I couldn't care less. But there's always somebody I can call and ask. And with vMix, it'll be the same story. I always have somebody I can call and ask.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Dave Edwards says that Wirecast must explain why the video is only 240 and the audio is so noisy. I guess Dave doesn't understand
Don't pay
audio.
any attention to Dave. Dave
Yeah, it's
wore a
fine.
banana
It's fine.
costume to
It's
NAB.
actually, I mean, it's funny he's saying that. When I went in, I don't stream
Really?
to YouTube from this machine. I do YouTube from Restream.io.
Yes.
And now we wanted to go directly to YouTube.
Yes.
So I'm going in, and sure enough, Wirecast has a YouTube
A preset.
profile
Yes.
preset. So I do it, and I just went to look to see, and it was set up for 240 by something and 400 kbytes second, and I'm saying, what in the world? Why? And Tom said, "Come on, let's change it. Let's change it."
Let's change it.
Yeah.
Let's go up. Let's live dangerously.
But
Let's go up to
it's-
360. Well, sorry about that, Dave.
But I mean, I like it. I mean, look, I'm doing all that stuff,
Yep.
right? And we're running it right around 30%.
Yeah.
Well, at 240, I guess so.
40.
So anyway, the noisy audio is because we've got this big air conditioner running over here
Yeah.
because it's 81 degrees here today.
It's It's brutal.
It's
It's
brutal.
still not as clear. I wonder why it's doing that. I mean, I know that we're set up at settings. I don't see it very well, and you're right.
Oh, it's offline. Right
Look at
now.
this.
It's offline.
It's not offline.
It's not offline.
I'm still seeing.
Okay. I'll refresh.
Or is it just?
Yeah, there we go.
It went. It is 240. How did it change back? It won't let me do anything else.
Help him, Nick.
Yeah, but it's got it's got an option for 144.
I would just do audio.
Yeah,
This
audio.
is ridiculous. I really thought. I mean, we changed it to 720p, and it didn't save it. And I
Amnon, there are a
saved it
lot
twice.
of buttons over there. We know.
Sorry, my
Folks, you've heard of water conservation.
says.
We're doing bandwidth conservation.
It
Those
was
electrons
240p
are expensive.
recommended.
That's right. That's right. So if you want to do
That is
240, get
ridiculous.
Wirecast, and you can do 240 with really noisy audio.
Ah.
It's on sale
I wish
now.
So
Somebody's-
vMix won't do 240?
No, we don't offer. You have to pay extra for that feature.
Okay, there we go.
I wish somebody said something earlier. Now that I blow it up, what is that?
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
Oh,
They come for the
jeez.
personalities.
Yeah,
and
but
the
the
banter.
problem,
Or
the
they must
problem
be
is that's the
disappointed.
recording is going to be like that.
None
too.
of us are that pretty that it gets better
Speak
with,
for
with
yourself.
720.
Let's see. It is.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, yeah, that record. Okay, good.
The recording's
So
in
the recording
720.
is going to be good.
Recordings at 720. Okay. Okay.
I'll
Well,
be
that's good.
damned. I'll be damned.
At least the part that we recorded.
Go back to chat. I guess I answered every
All right.
question.
Huh?
What is your website, Eastern Shore Broadcasting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Giles did say earlier that it looks surprisingly good at 240.
Yeah, but I thought he was joking because I know that when the first time we did it and we had to reboot and it. What is that? Why is it 240?
Well, Wirecast is killing the audio, I guess.
That must be it. That must be it.
You know? Nah, never mind.
Bunch
Don't
of
worry.
streaming idiots.
Yeah, I mean, you already named the show correctly, so.
Yeah,
Well,
there.
And you know the
That's
show
me.
name. The show name has really helped out a lot because what I think it's done is it's taken a lot of the pressure off the folks to be perfect, and let's go ahead and give it a try. You know, let's go out there. Let's throw ourselves out there and just admit we don't know everything. And suddenly, people that would never would have thought about doing this are giving it a try. And
Wait a
that's-
minute.
That's great.
Doesn't the lowest priced version of vMix only do SD?
The free one?
Is there a free one? I thought it was like a $60 one.
No, the $60 one is HD.
Interesting. What's the
free one is
limitation on the $60 one?
4 inputs, 3 cameras. Yep.
Three cameras, one audio.
I have versions of VidBlaster, Wirecast, and I've never used one of them.
Yeah.
Well, for $60, you can have VMix
I don't need
and
it.
never use it.
What's the other ones I've used? OBS,
OBS.
XSplit.
Oh,
I've got to pay lifetime license to XSplit. What a waste of money.
Well, but if you get a 12-core CPU, XSplit will run beautifully.
Where's Spencer? I mean, he uses it for his feed for
Yeah.
Computers 2K Now, and it works about
You're
half the
using
time.
XSplit. You're using
XSplit.
XSplit.
I do.
So,
I just recently had a problem with my delay with my video.
You'll fix
Yeah,
it. You'll fix it.
is this the Martin who wrote vMix?
No, no.
That's Martin S. What's the Martin's name who wrote vMix?
Martin Sinclair wrote VMix.
Look at Mike.
I guess it doesn't run in the family.
Oh, goodness. Actually, no, he's a young whippersnapper.
Yeah.
He's
Guido wants to know what
smart,
cameras
yeah.
you use.
It's a Vixia
HFR
HFR 100.
The Canon, yes.
And that's
First in the line.
that was recommended by Mr. Vidblaster himself.
That's right. That's right. I think that was the only in the HFR Vixia line that was remote controlled was the 100.
I
think
can't.
they
I can't.
discontinued
I
it
can't.
after that.
Yeah, I can't control it.
Yeah. Yeah. My studio camera is a Canon Vixia HFR 200 that I got for $85 off of eBay. I mean,
Yeah, that's where about these.
I spent 3 times as much on my mic as I did on my camera.
As well, you should. Video's easy.
Video is easy. Video is easy. Well, guys, what do you say we wrap this up and go to dinner?
I'm hungry.
All
Sure.
right. Anybody that's in the area,
Amnon's buying.
Amnon's buying. That's right. That's right. Folks,
Yep.
we do appreciate you taking time out to come, especially at this special time with this super low resolution feed that we brought you tonight.
Did you know that it was 240?
Well, I didn't want to say anything.
you should have.
know, you're the guest. And I'm
No.
the guest. You're the host. You know, I'm not paying anything to be here.
Oh, wait. Where'd you get that idea?
Well, I haven't gotten the bill yet. Let me
You
put it
will.
that way.
This is so ridiculous.
But tune in next week at our regular time, 3 o'clock Eastern, streamingidiots.com, when we will have Martin Sinclair on as our guest to talk, well, probably to say nothing about vMix 20, because he will resist every temptation that I can make to him to comment on vMix 20. So if you want to hear him not say anything about vMix 20, tune in next week and we will have him with you. Amnon, thank you so much.
No,
You're a
thank you.
wonderful
This was
host.
great.
And Spence and Nick and especially Mike, appreciate you guys. And we're going to go hang out and have some good grub.
Yep.
So see you guys next week. Be good.